Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Spill, a movie night podcast. I'm your host, Chelsea. Film Spill, if you don't already know, is a podcast that comes out every week, and we talk about a movie by a female filmmaker every episode. We also discuss women in the entertainment industry in general. We play slumber party type games, spill entertainment gossip, and get to know each other and our guest. This week, we have a very special guest, Sofia, who is an editor with Onyx. Welcome, Sofia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I'm super excited to have you. You are one of the newest members here at Onyx.
Yeah, I sure am. And I'm having a really nice time working with everyone and getting to know people.
And so how did you find out about Onyx?
Well, so you've had Lizzie before on the podcast, who's also with Onyx. She and I met in high school, and we've been like best friends ever since. We ended up going to different colleges, but we were both studying film at the time, and we never lost touch. We talked all the time, met up all the time. And a couple years into college, she joined Onyx and was doing that stuff for a while. And then after I had graduated, she asked me if I wanted to join. She thought it would be a really good idea for us to work on stuff, because when we were back in high school, we always talked about making movies together or doing something together that would be fun and creative. So she asked me to join, and here I am.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
Yeah.
Dynamic duo.
Yeah, she's the best. So
are you guys planning any projects together?
yeah, we have a couple things that we've talked about wanting to do. We're doing some writing right now, which has been kind of difficult, but together we've been able to figure out how we're going to go about it and how we're planning the rest of our project. So hopefully this year we can like have something concrete finished in any capacity. So we're excited about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to like learn more about it.
I know.
Gotta keep me updated.
Oh, I definitely will.
So, what do you see yourself doing in the industry? Like, what do you currently do now, and what do you want to see yourself doing in the future?
Well, when I started film, I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I liked movies and TV. But after a couple years, I realized that I really liked editing. I just found it very easy, and I was teaching myself how to use editing software. So I was just like, maybe I could do this. So that's kind of like my big future goal in life, is to kind of just become like a full-fledged editor in some way, whether it be for trailers or something else. Right now I'm doing social media stuff. I help out with Film Spill, as you very well know. And I help you with reels and stuff like that. I also do social media stuff for other accounts on Instagram and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I'm building my experience as an editor right now. But I'm looking forward to edit my own personal projects and hopefully get a nice job where I can practice more long form stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Sophia does help me out with social media stuff and does a fantastic job with the reels. I can always count on Sophia to produce well done work. So I say that right now we have such a strong social media team, and I'm so grateful for everyone on the team because we have been killing it. We have been producing these episodes every week. And on top of that, really trying to build on social media and to grow and for more people to find out about Film Spill. So without you guys, I don't know where I'd be at when it comes to social media. So thank you. Thank you.
Oh, it's been so fun, and I'm so glad to like help out with this. It's been so like just a very creative outlet for me that I didn't have before with my other internships. So I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, no, it really is. It helps like kind of unwind to be able to like work on your own creative stuff because you get to do something that you really enjoy.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. That's how I feel like when I get to like detox a little bit from work. I'm like, okay, this is nice. But then again, it's like never ending.
I know.
I know you end up doing it because you're just so passionate about it. So
I know.
you're
It's
like,
just sitting there. I'm like, I might as well just do it.
I know exactly, exactly. So there's more to come. We're gonna keep banging out some awesome content. If you guys have anything that you would like to specifically see or that you want more of, let us know.
Yeah, chime off in whatever comment section there is.
I know, right? Comment wherever you can. You know what? We should plug in this would be probably a great opportunity to plug in the Gmail. If you guys have any suggestions, like movie suggestions or any
Oh, yeah.
like I said, things that you want to see on our social media pages, email us at filmspillpod@gmail.com. Today, we're going to talk about Marielle Heller's drama romance film, The Diary of a Teenage Girl, 2015. But first, we're going to be playing our slumber party type game. So I don't know if you got a chance to take a look at our slumber party game for this week.
Yeah, I was just looking at it.
Okay. So for those of you who can't see it, today we're going to be playing Never Have I Ever. And so we're just going to go down the list and see whoever gets, I guess, the most fingers down loses. And we have 20 options. So,
All right.
I decided why not go with an even number?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, awesome. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay.
So the first one is never have I ever gone to Europe. I have never gone to Europe. I don't
Me
have the money to
neither.
go to I don't have the money to go to Europe.
Same. But maybe one day. Hey, we never know.
That's the dream. That'd be nice. I'd love to live my Lizzie McGuire movie fantasy.
Oh my God, right? That's what I think about when I think about Europe. It's Lizzie McGuire
Yeah,
on that school field trip.
it's the only right answer.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Number
Okay.
two.
Okay. Never have I ever lived in California. I currently live in California. I've never not lived in California. So one finger down for me. Okay. Never have I ever written in a diary. I have, as very young though, and I gave it up pretty quick.
Oh wow. No, I've never done it. I've
You've
always
never
told
done it?
myself, no.
Oh my God. I thought it
I
was
know.
like, I don't know. I did it for like a month. And then after I was like, this isn't for me. And I stopped. But I
This
was like
isn't the
11.
livelihood. Yeah. Well, I've always wanted to, like, I always see it in like movies and stuff, and I've always wanted to live out that fantasy, but I'm too lazy, honestly.
It takes up too much time. I'm like, I want to go to bed. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I know.
So
I'm
I
like, I don't want to
stopped.
write down my feelings. I don't want to write down
I
about my
know.
day. I'm already over it.
I know. It's like, just get me to bed. That's why I stopped after literally a month. It was 11 and I was sick of it. Um, okay, number 4. Never have I ever gone to a party I wasn't invited to. I don't think I've done that. I don't think I've crashed a party like that.
I don't think so either. I have too much
Yeah.
pride for that, quote unquote, pride for that. But like,
Yeah. No, I
if
don't
they
think I've
didn't
ever.
invite me, I'm not going to show up.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know. I've like unless it's like a wedding, like you crash but that's like different, I think. Like a party like that of someone that you know that didn't invite you, I've never done that. And I don't think I ever would.
But let's be honest. Would you crash a wedding? Like,
Yeah.
right?
I
But a
would
wedding, anything else, I wouldn't crash.
no,
But a
yeah,
wedding is
anything
on a whole different
smaller.
level.
Yeah, because that's a big room. No. Like anything smaller than that, I would never.
But the
Okay.
food, I always know wedding food
Oh
for the
yeah.
most part. As long as I get good cake,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
I'm down.
You can't ever go wrong with there. So never have I ever traveled solo. I don't think I have, no. I don't think I have. So still 2 fingers down for me.
I haven't either.
Okay.
I'm too scared for that.
Me too. Never have I ever dined and ditched. I haven't done that.
I haven't either.
I
I
can't put
can't do that.
I can't put like service workers through that. That's so mean. I can't do that.
I've had
Um,
people do it to me before. When I worked
really?
at a restaurant, it happened. Yeah. I
Oh
never believed
no.
that it was a thing, but it's a thing. People
People
still
are
do it.
so mean. Like, just
Mhm.
pay.
I know. I'm like, then why go out?
I
Stay
know, it's so
home.
stupid. Never have I ever had a crush on a teacher. No.
I haven't either.
Not
I
for,
thought they're cute.
no, not even that. Not for me.
Maybe I put one finger down because I'm like, I thought they
I
were
guess
cute. There
that
was one.
I guess that counts, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So never have I ever kissed a friend's ex. No, I haven't.
No, I haven't. I don't
No.
think so. I'm like thinking back. Have I? No, no, I haven't.
No, it's a little awkward. Um,
Yeah.
Never have I ever been called a player. No. No.
Doesn't ring a bell.
No, not in my wheelhouse. All right. Never have I ever stolen anything.
I
Yeah, I
have.
have. Yeah.
I
We're all brave. We're all
mean,
proud enough to admit that you have stolen something. If you're listening to this, you have stolen something. You can admit it. Um,
at least something.
yeah, even the smallest thing.
Even by
Um,
accident.
oh, I've done it by accident. I felt really guilty after, but I didn't go back. I was scared.
I've had these moments where they don't scan the things like at Home Goods. They won't scan it. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know. And I won't say anything. I'm just like, well, you didn't scan it. Not my
Mhm.
problem. And I'll leave.
Well, I mean, it wasn't your fault. Like
Exactly.
you can live with a healthy conscience. You didn't do that.
Now I'm like, bless up. I take
Yeah,
it as a
no.
blessing.
Yeah. All right. Never have I ever made out in a movie theater. I have not.
I think I have, honestly.
Good for you. It's fun. I only go to the movies with my friends. Like I don't
Yeah, I
so
think when I was younger, I'm pretty sure, but I had my
now it seems
moments.
a bit like nah.
No, I wouldn't do it now.
It's like weird
Mm-mm.
now.
I'm too busy eating my nachos.
Yeah, exactly. Never have I ever dated someone younger than me. No. But I had a crush on someone younger than me though, but I did not act on it because that's weird.
No,
No, it was weird. I was like, no. Mm-mm.
I know. When I think about younger, I just don't find that attractive. Like I'm just like child.
Yeah, I still feel like a child. Why would I date someone younger than me? Like, no.
That's how I feel.
Exactly. So no. Never have I ever broken up with someone over text. No, that's mean. I can't do that.
I think I had to. Long story.
It's okay, I forgive you. Um, Never have I ever had a friend with benefits. No, I have not.
I have.
Ooh, good for
I
you.
know, scandalous. We're getting into some scandalous stuff.
I
Yeah.
I know. Wow.
I'm
Good for
left
you,
with
Chelsea.
5 fingers. What about you?
I put down 3 fingers, so I still have quite a few. I'm like, I stay at home and I don't do anything. That's basically the short
I
answer to this.
I thought so too. I thought, I'm
No,
boring with my life, but I guess not.
no, I'm more boring, trust me. Let's see. Never have I ever flirted just to get something I wanted. I have done that.
Yeah, I could
Yeah,
see you doing it.
free food.
Yeah. It's always for the free food.
It's come back to bite me, but I have done it.
Damn.
Hmm Did not work out for me in the end, but I did get free food. So,
That's all that matters.
okay. So, where am I again? Oh, never have I ever peed in a pool. As a child, yes, I have. Not now.
I have as a kid too. No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it now.
No, but like as a kid, definitely.
Maybe in the ocean, but
I've
maybe
never
not.
done it in the ocean. I feel like weird doing it in the ocean.
Yeah, sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go. Like
Yeah, that's true.
sometimes those bathroom lines are too long. So I'll
And
be
they're
like,
so
fuck it.
nasty at the beach too.
I know they are. Ugh. Ew,
Mm-mm.
I hate just even thinking about it.
I
It's just like,
know. Ugh, no. All right. Never have I ever clogged a toilet. Yeah, of
I
course I have.
I am.
Every Everyone has clogged a toilet. Like, I don't know someone who hasn't.
I know. I don't know anyone who hasn't either. Come on.
I know. I feel like you're just too embarrassed, and it's okay. This is a safe space.
It's okay. It's okay to
Yeah.
be truthful.
Yeah. Never have I ever been on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise.
I've never been on a cruise either. I've always
They,
wanted to go. They always look amazing.
I don't know if I would enjoy it. I feel like I'd get bored pretty quick. But I don't know. I've never been on one, so maybe not.
Apparently, it's free everything. Well, it comes included. It's not free, you pay for it, but it's like
Yeah. You don't
endless
pay
amounts of
extra.
food. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And you
That's
get to go
nice.
to like different areas. Like you get to like just explore multiple different cool areas because you're on a boat instead.
Yeah, because they drop you off at like different locations, right? I
Yeah,
don't I've never done it before. Maybe one day. That'd be kind of cool.
I know. I keep telling myself I'm going to save up to travel, but like,
I never end up
not there
doing it.
yet. I never
Yeah.
end up doing it.
One day, a cruise in Europe will do it. All right. Never have I ever ridden a motorcycle. I have not done that. That is too scary.
I have.
How was
It
it?
is
Did you get
scary.
scared? Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have nothing like holding you. Like you're like when you finally get on and it starts moving, you're like, fuck. Like I really have to like hold tight. And like I had to, so my friend at the time, he had a motorcycle.
Mhm.
And this is the first time I ever knew anyone who knew how to even drive a motorcycle. So I'm like, can I ride with you on it? He was like, yeah, sure. So he got on, and the only way for me to like hold on was wrapping my arms around him. And
Yeah.
so like he was so skinny of a person. It was like
Oh my God.
bones.
You were
So
holding on
I'm
for dear
like,
life.
yeah. And then it's like I feel like I was like bigger than him. And I couldn't put so much weight on him, but I felt like I was, especially with like turns and everything. Luckily,
Oh.
the drive to the location where we went to, like it was like this like forest field. I don't know. It's where we went to like go smoke weed. But like I don't know. It was this area where like it wasn't too far away from like where we worked.
Hmm.
So it wasn't too bad of like a ride, but still it yeah, it
I
was
would have been
scary.
screaming the whole way. I would have been so scared. You're
Yeah,
brave.
it's definitely worth the experience though. Like you definitely have to try it.
Maybe one day if I work up the courage to do literally anything.
You will. You'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. Never have I ever fallen asleep in class. I don't think I have.
I
I don't think I
definitely
have.
have.
I was too much of like a I was too obsessed with my grades to fall asleep in class. Unless like the teacher like told me to put my head down and like rest, I didn't fall asleep in class.
See, I have an issue with falling asleep. So my issue is that like I can fall asleep kind of like almost anywhere. Like when I'm really
Oh,
tired, I can sleep.
you can just pass out.
Yeah, and like without me meaning to. So in class, like if I would get enough sleep like nights prior, it would start catching up to me. And at the time, like you just feel like invincible, but sometimes like I just couldn't stay up. Like I was so tired that my eyes would just like droop down and I would start like doing the like head like trying to keep it up. But no, sometimes I would just like pass out. Yeah, I've done that at work too. I've fallen asleep at work.
Oh my God.
Because I was so tired.
Dang.
So I used to work as like a visitors like security kind of person where like they would come up for like college students would come up sign in their like family or whatever or like if other kids came from like a school district that they were in collaboration with. I don't know the whole gist. They were allowed in, so we would like do just like passes, right? And so I was in the middle of doing someone's pass when like I was just so tired that day. And I'm like literally falling asleep. And I just remember like I completely fell asleep where like I woke up and I was like, oh shoot. And like the person was like looking at me like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh my
And
God, there was
like,
someone there. That's so embarrassing.
yeah, there was someone there, but I was so tired that like because the pass was taking so long to like to like load, I just fell asleep.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's so
I know.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Dang. Oh my God.
I have
Well,
so
I
many
think,
like crazy stories.
yeah, I can tell. You have more than me, that's for sure, because I think you put more fingers down than me.
Yeah, I'm left with two out of the 10.
Yeah, I have, yeah, three. So in total, 7 out of 20 for me.
Yeah, you definitely win this
Yeah.
game of never have I ever.
just for not leaving my house and staying in bed.
Yay. All right, let's get into it today. We're going to be talking about The Diary of a Teenage Girl, 2015. The Diary of a Teenage Girl is available to watch on Prime Video, Apple TV, Vudu, and YouTube. This discussion will contain spoilers for the film, so if you haven't already seen it, go watch and come back afterwards to hear our thoughts. So you want to give our audience a little synopsis about what the film is about?
Yeah, sure. The Diary of a Teenage Girl follows Minnie, a 15-year-old aspiring artist who, after deciding to start an audio diary, enters into a sexual relationship with her mother's boyfriend. She documents the ups and downs of awakening sexuality and endeavors to learn who she is and where she fits into the world.
What were your initial thoughts? What did you think about this movie?
I was pleasantly surprised by it because I had never heard of it before. So I kind of went in blind. But I really like teen and coming of age movies. So I was like, it's either going to be a hit or a miss. And I really liked it. I thought it was pretty intense at moments. I was like, whoa, they're like doing a lot, but it was really good. I was entertained the whole way through. So
Yeah, no, this was my first time watching it as well. And I thought the same thing. It completely reminded me of Fish Tank. I was like, am I rewatching Fish Tank right now? Like,
oh yeah, the
it
plots are
was,
kind of similar now.
yeah, but this time, like, we see their relationship. We see Minnie's relationship with her mother's boyfriend throughout the movie
Hmm.
more than we did in Fish Tank. And it was like kind of similar where the mom was like nonchalant and was like snorting cocaine,
Yeah.
similar to like Fish Tank, where her mother was just a drunkie. It was interesting to see how it was similar stories, but it was so different. Like, I really loved the drawing illustrations, how they went with the film and how they
Yeah.
resembled her as like a character. That was like my favorite part because it reminded me of like Scott Pilgrim type thing.
Yeah, exactly. I love animation in general. I think it's like my one of my favorite like art forms. So I was like, okay, like it's a diary, whatever. Like I wasn't thinking it was gonna go into illustration or anything like that. I was so like surprised by that, and it brought such like a fresh, like a breath of fresh air into like an otherwise like a movie that, you know, could have just it didn't need to have it, but the fact that it did was just really nice, and I really enjoyed it visually. I thought it was beautifully shot and the illustrations just made it better.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they did include long animations. Like, it wasn't just the illustrations that were drawn, but also like her character animations, how it went along with the story.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was, and the art style was also very distinct. It wasn't like cartoony, but also didn't it wasn't fully realistic either. It was like this weird in between. And the using like only like pen drawings also was also really nice. Because it's kind of accurate to how she would draw and like how a lot of teenagers draw like in their notebooks and like in school. Like it's all pen drawings, pencil drawings, sketches. Like it was really nice.
Yeah, that's nice that you point that out. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I mean, like if I open a notebook from high school, I'm sure I'll find like doodles in the corner like that look not as good as hers, obviously, but like same kind of like look to it, you know?
Yeah, I used to doodle on my notebooks all the time in high school. Well,
You
throughout
did.
like middle school too.
Oh yeah, same.
When I was bored, I would just draw the same thing. Like, I would draw a box, I would draw a heart, I would draw like a
Yeah.
flower. I was an
Yeah.
artistic, so that's all I knew how to draw.
I remember I used to draw a boat getting like a little boat, like little shape with a little triangle as a flag, getting like attacked by like a sea monster and the tentacles would come up. That's the thing I drew the most because it's the only thing I considered like good drawing from me. And it was like the bare minimum.
You have to draw that. Do you know how to draw that still?
Yeah, I
You got to
should
show
draw it
me.
if I do it on my phone.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, probably. Hold on. Let me open my notes app and I'll do it.
Yay.
Oh
Sophia's
my
going to draw
God.
for us her famous squid
My
tentacles.
little this is my friend showed me how to draw this, so credit to him, honestly. Shout out to Iggy. Oh, the pen is so bad. Oh well. This is so bad. If I had a pen and paper, it would look so much better. and my hands are shaking.
You got to do it again on like pen and paper.
I know. I'll like text you a picture of it, but I'll show you like a very rough thing like through Zoom right now. Oh my God. It's so bad. I'm really bad with like touch screen stuff. Can you see it? It's so ugly.
I love that. That's so cute.
Like what it looks like if I had to like do it in like 5 seconds, but like if I get a pen and paper, I'll send it to you.
You got to add like the other squid tentacles really getting the ship down.
Yeah, I know. That's usually what I do, and then I'll add like water underneath, and that's it. Like super boring looking. But I was like, this is art. Me at like
But it looks
14.
like Picasso.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you.
Let's get into Marielle Heller. She is born in Marin County, California, native Californian, known to refer to her acting as first love. Graduated from UCLA with a degree in theater. Went to study at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. So I watched this interview with her talking about that she initially came across the project in 2010. And so she was trying to, I guess, get it across to the original writer of the book, Phoebe Glenker. And so she created into a screenplay, and then she eventually saw it, and then it became 5 years later into what it is now.
Wow, I didn't know it was based off of a book. I should read it because dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she said that she really dissected the film, that she really immersed herself in it for I guess the 5 years that she was trying to push it out there and to try to convince the author to let her make this film. But she says in the book, there's illustrations as well, and they use that as part of the film, and that's why it is the way it is.
Oh, wow. I love that they incorporated that. It makes it so much more of like a true adaptation of the book
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and gives the
exactly.
movie its own unique style.
Yeah, that's
That's
why I want to
awesome.
take a look at the book to see if it really does resemble the same thing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go look it up later and see how much it is so I can buy it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that bad on Amazon.
I know. I'm gonna go look it up later. But yay, new book for me.
Yeah. Well, this film was selected for the 2012 Sundance Writing Fellow and 2012 Sundance Directing Fellow after submitting her script for Diary of a Teenage Girl. I've recently started to get into Sundance stuff. They have a lot of cool things going on. So if you're interested in any I don't know, more community building, networking, and just opportunities, highly suggest you look into Sundance if you haven't already.
Oh, dang. Okay. Yeah, I definitely will. It's really cool and a good way to watch new things instead of because I'm sure this came out months later in theater than when it was actually in Sundance. So it's a good way to get a head start on everything that's going to come out later.
Yeah. Yeah. Sundance, it's crazy to even get into Sundance, and it's everyone's
Oh,
dream.
and it's her debut. That's crazy. It's super impressive. I could never
Yeah.
do that.
Never say never. It's hard. I know. It's kind of nerve-wracking to think, but a lot of people do it, and I don't know how they do it. But a lot of directors that I've been researching, that I usually talk about in this podcast, it's usually their first time, and they're already winning Sundance awards. They're just, we're just already getting picked up right away, and it's just incredible
It's
to
crazy.
see. Yeah, what are they doing?
I know.
What are they
What's
doing
in their
right?
water? What are they drinking?
Yeah,
That's awesome
seriously.
though. It's super impressive and I'm gonna read the book, but I'm sure it's a really true adaptation of the novel if she had to talk to the author for 5 years, like you said, to convince her to collaborate or allow her to write the script. It must be a really good adaptation and again, I can't get over the illustrations because using those illustrations, it's it makes it separates that movie from other coming of age movies stylistically and in I guess in the same way of telling the story because it's fully from her perspective and no one else's, like through the audio, um, and the illustrations as well as just, the visuals in general. So I thought it was awesome because of that. And it's just a new perspective from someone else's life, that another teenager could possibly relate to on some degree. That's what coming of age and teen movies are for. And this is just another great one.
Do you have a favorite animation?
Hmm, that's tough. I think when she's walking down the street and she's like talking to herself, but she's imagining that comic book artist next to her and she's all illustrated in like colored pencil. I think I like that the best because she's like interacting directly with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
I think
fun
that's my favorite.
moment.
Yeah.
I like when she was in the bathtub and the illustrations are like coming out from like
Oh,
over her.
yeah.
It was like a nice setup shot. Like I really
Hmm.
like it made sense and it was just like, oh, that's smart. You know when someone does it, like it's something that
Yeah.
you would think of
It
before someone else put it
conveyed
out
like,
there.
yeah, it conveyed her emotions even more so. Like you could feel
Mhm.
her, like what she was feeling even more just with the added illustrations around her head. It was
Yeah, and
great.
they added it multiple times. It wasn't like one time you saw it like multiple
Yeah.
times. So I like that too.
Yeah, it was just made it really cute to an otherwise kind of like sad story. So, it's a little bit of lightheartedness.
There was definitely a lot of things like what you were mentioning before that I was just like kind of like, whoa, it got to
Yeah.
be like a lot. What moment were you like
Just not
shocked
something,
moments?
yeah, just not something you expect from like every coming of age movie that you see.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
I don't know. There's like, I guess the part where I don't know, just because it's like I can't imagine doing cocaine with my mom. Like what? I was just like I know that doesn't happen to everyone, obviously, but I guess that's where I was just like, what? Like it really threw me off my rhythm. I was just like, the sex scenes, whatever. That happens in a lot of movies. But that was just something that I was like, huh, I didn't expect that. Like, I don't know.
You know what shook me was when her mom finds out and then she's like, "Oh, you guys are getting married. That's it. You guys are getting married." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
I was waiting for her to be like, just kidding. Like I was waiting for her to be like, this is just me committing to the bit because I'm mad at you. Like I was waiting for her to say something like that. Because I was like,
And she didn't.
is she dead? Like, is she serious? And is he serious? Because I was in shock during that scene.
Yeah, and then he was completely serious. But then it backfires into something that like I was like, yes. When Minnie discovers, oh no, I'm an independent badass. Like I don't need no man.
Yeah.
I don't need him. And him showing his like vulnerability just like threw her off. And she was like, no,
Yeah.
I he needs me more than I need him in a
Yeah.
sense. And I'm like,
I'm
yes, like good for you.
Yeah, because it was kind of like watching her become so attached to him was kind of painful to watch from an outside perspective because it's just like he's so much older than her. He's taking advantage and she just, she's 15, she doesn't know any better, you know. And then when she has that come to Jesus sort of moment where she's like, hold on, pause, rewind, what am I doing here? I'm like, thank God. Like I was waiting for that the whole time. So when it finally hit her, I was like, yes.
There was that like anticipation that you were hoping she would find her other way and not need to rely on this guy for
Yeah,
what it seemed like was
almost the whole movie.
sexual,
Yeah.
like just sexual interaction was like the only thing that they had. There was nothing more there, and
Yeah.
she couldn't find anything better that suited her needs.
Yeah, no, and thank goodness for that because those like it was just so because I knew like I looked up the like a brief uh synopsis of what the movie was about, but I was basically went in blind. And when I found out that age gap, I was like, that's crazy. At one point I was like, so people are gonna tell her to stop, right? And not a lot of people did, which was really shocking to me. But I don't know, maybe I guess the 70s were on something different. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, it could be the time era
Yeah.
that like things were different. People were getting married at an early age, and that maybe people just got into older relationships like that. But my fiance looked up the actress's age at the time when
Hmm.
she filmed the movie, and she was 18, and the guy was still old. He was in his 30s. He was like 35.
Oh, so kind of like True the movie then. I
Yeah,
didn't
like
know
there was a
that.
big age gap. Yeah, and there was a lot of sex scenes. She was
Yeah.
really open to be naked. Like that camera was on her
Yeah.
a
Me
lot
at
naked.
18, I would be like, absolutely not. Nope. You could not pay me enough money. Uh,
Yeah.
she really threw herself into that. But like it's impressive. Like she did a great job throughout the whole thing. She had me convinced that she was a delusional little 15-year-old, like just like we all were. So she did great.
We all went through that phase.
I know, because every time she would say something like in her little tape recorder, I wish I could remember like a specific line, but she'd be like, she'd basically come up with these like fictional scenarios in her head about this guy and take them as truth. And I was just like, oh, I hate that I can relate right now. Like I was like cringing, not from her, but from me, remembering when I used to think stuff like that about people that like they didn't know who I was, or like they didn't know me that well. Like they don't care about me like that. And I was just like, this is like, it's too relatable.
Yeah, that's how I felt like when I rewatched The Edge of 17. Like that
Oh
movie is
yeah.
so relatable to me to a T of just like all the emotions that I was going through. Just like I feel like we're all on these like hormones and these thoughts, and just like so much is happening to us. Like life is hitting us in a different way. I mean, life hits us in very like multiple stages of our life, but especially when you are coming of age and you're seeing
Yeah.
things differently. You're like coming from like being a child to like starting to feel like you're an adult.
Yeah. I was glad that like that the movie doesn't shy away from it either.
The fact that people are having sex at that age, you know,
Yeah.
and like it's not talked about and we don't see it in films, like what we are experiencing with, our sexual drive and just our thought process, and things are so new to us. And yeah, no, I think it portrays it very well.
Yeah, like it's a lot, but it's something that should be talked about, and it's just a part of life, like you don't have to sugarcoat it for audiences that are probably watching this that are older than 15. You know what I mean? Because I'm assuming that this was rated R, obviously. It's just something that we all come to terms with at a certain age, and it just becomes part of our life, and it's normal, and it's okay, and it's okay to talk about it. Kind of that simple.
Now, do you feel in film we're portrayed differently as women when it comes to showing films of coming of age and just our experiences as compared to when males are portrayed of their coming of age stories and how they are, going through their, sexual drive and their emotions.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I can't think of a lot of movies on the top of my head, but I can think of like certain TV shows from like the early 2000s that about like teenagers that there's a huge difference in how they uh portray like what it is being a teenager compared like from a girl to a boy. Like I don't know if you watch Gilmore Girls or you have watched it in the past, but there's like the boys on that show, I mean, they don't really show anything explicit because it's Gilmore Girls and it's, you don't see anything, but like every time a girl has sex on that show, they are immediately shamed for it or they immediately get pregnant. And I thought that was crazy because I'm just like, it's also like the whole premise of the show because the mother, she got pregnant at a young age and the daughter, and they have a they're close in age because of that. So they get along really well because of that. And that's the whole story. But she is like, the mother is shamed for it by her parents, like right at the start of the show and like throughout most of the first season. And that theme is like recurring in like a lot of those female characters. And I thought that was really surprising. And there's just like a lot of like slut shaming and stuff like that in early 2000s media when it comes to like teen shows and teen movies that kind of sucks because, it's just a part of life and it's normal. And when, guys sleep with someone on a show, they don't really blink at it. It just happens, you know, and it sucks. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like, does it affect us as viewers when we're watching these and like we expect that we're going to be shamed for thinking a certain way or doing certain things? Like these films, like being able to watch these films, they like reassure you, like, okay, it's okay to be having these thoughts. It's okay to like be going through this, like in this point of my life. Like I'm ready to, start adventuring out. I don't know, experiment. Who knows? But like, you're right. In the early 2000s, there was a lot of shows that just made you feel like you do certain things and you're bad and you're, like you said, slut shaming and just like, it was just portrayed so negatively. And yeah, it makes one believe it when you're watching it at a young age. You think that that's like the way that it should be or that it is.
Yeah, and like I grew up watching like like those types of shows, and I still watch them because I find a comfort in them and I like them, but like when I remember those aspects of it, I remember being like I couldn't say I was affected by it on a conscious level, but on a subconscious one, it's just like you become so used to seeing the same thing and hearing the same message from those different shows and movies that when you see something like Diary of a Teenage Girl where it's so open and like she eats like an info like am I crazy, and it's kind of like a joke instead of like you are one and you need to change, like that doesn't happen at any point. So that's when I kind of like was like, oh yeah, like this is normal and it happens to everyone, and it shouldn't be shunned, or you shouldn't be made to feel guilty about whatever thoughts you're having or what you're going through at that age, because it's a hard time in your life, and being shamed for it from media is even worse when you already don't know what you want to do with your life.
I don't know when it's going to change in generation or if it has changed in generation, but figuring yourself out at a young age, they start telling you to do so. Like the media makes it seem like you have to have everything together and you're supposed to be going to school and you should have a plan of like what you want to do for the rest of your life, but like nothing has ever been put out there that it's okay to want to do different things. It's okay to want to do multiple things. You can be a well-rounded person and that should be okay. Why do we have to be subject to like one single thing?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that we're starting to come to a new age in that, but I feel like it's kind of slow. Like I haven't like tuned into a lot of like new teen coming of age movies recently, just because there hasn't been many, at least like in quick succession like it was back then. But I feel like it's starting to take a turn, and they're embracing like sometimes not focusing on that, but maybe just like having a lead female character and embracing the friendships in her life or like other aspects about her instead of just focusing on her sex life and being shamed for it, or taking that power back instead. Like Do Revenge is one of those. Like she kind of like in the beginning is like, no, I'm not going to stand for you like shaming me in this way and gaslighting me about it. I'm going to do something about it. So like I'm starting to see that. I'd like to see it more. So hopefully it leans more in that direction.
Yeah, it definitely needs to. And a lot of female directors, they try to hone in on that idea that like we should be the ones taking revenge. Like it should be us. We don't have
Yeah.
to be dependent on anyone.
I'm hoping that it's starting to kick off, because I feel like what I mentioned before, Do Revenge, I feel like that movie is going to kickstart like a new wave of like those types of teen movies. Like it has its flaws, but I feel like it's a good way to have like your typical like teen movie with like hijinks and stuff, but also modernize it and not focus solely on the like slut shaming or like over sexualizing the characters or anything like that.
Now, in this film, who did you see that you resonated with the most? I know that there was like a few female characters, And
Yeah.
like, but who do you feel like you resonated with personality wise the most?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Because I related a lot to what Minnie was saying. Like I definitely like did not have the same like experience as her at 15, nowhere near close to it. But when she would just talk to herself and say like kind of silly things about what was his name? The boyfriend. I forgot his name. Alexander Skarsgård's character. Um,
Monroe.
Monroe, thank you. When she would say like silly little things about Monroe, and she's like, "Oh, like he did this like thing. Maybe he does like me," or something like that, and stupid stuff like that. That I was like, "Yeah, I've been there." Like, just the silly things that she said that kind of made it seem like the end of the world or like the most important thing of the world, either or. That on that aspect, I related the most to her. Because like I have like looked back and remembered me saying similar things that she said or thought similar things that she has thought. So on that aspect, I think I related to her the most.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I feel like I related to her on some levels, but like at some points she was getting on my nerves because I'm like, snap out of it.
I
Um,
know.
but I mean, there's probably people who've told me the same thing, but I understand why she kept going back because it was her first time. And I remember like my first time and the connection that I felt like I had with that significant person. Well, insignificant now. But like that's her first time, right? And
Yeah.
we say that we don't get connected. Like, how I don't know if you ever seen like shows that people, do it for the first time and they're like, oh, whatever, like that they don't care about the other person. Like, I don't know. I just have that mentality that like you shouldn't care right afterwards. But like you can't help yourself because that's
No,
like,
yeah. It's human.
yeah, it's just like emotions. And I've learned it is okay to feel your emotions.
Yeah, and especially at 15, you're feeling every emotion. That's why when I'd get frustrated with her, I'd be like, she's only 15. Like she hasn't like experienced those things ever before in her life. Like, of course she's not gonna come to her senses immediately, like maybe you and I would. It's hard to kind of like now being in my 20s, I'm like, okay, I need to go back and think, what was I like as a 15-year-old? Like I was probably thinking similar things she was, and I totally was. And it's just you have to kind of look past that in order for you to like look at Minnie and be like, yeah, I totally get it. And you'll get through it. Like that's kind of like the only thing that you can really think.
That advice that everyone would like give you, you'll
Yeah.
get through it.
You'll yeah. And it's like, yeah, you will. But like there's just like when you see something like that, you're just like, there's nothing really else to say because it's just like everyone's experience is different. And hers was very unique. But you can still relate to her, which I
Mm.
loved. Like you can still 100% relate to her heartbreak, to like her giddiness about being excited to see him and like explore her sexuality, everything. Like everything was super relatable on that level.
Yeah, on that level, like her experience, but like personality wise,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no, not my forte. The friend I feel like I wanted to like, but she was too like nonchalant. I'm like, I wouldn't react
Yeah.
the same way you would, honestly. I
No,
would have
right.
said some shit.
No, like because I remember the first scene, she's like, ew, he's old. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, Slay, like she's on it. She's gonna guide her through this and be like, no, don't. And then like and she never does it again. I was like, no, why?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, okay, like you would say that's a good friend, but I've had gotten some bad reactions because I have been that friend that like says it how it is. And
Mm-hmm.
people just don't always
They don't want to
take
hear it.
that and they don't hear the truth, or at least my truth. I don't know. And yeah, it gets bad reactions, but I can't help it. I just,
Yeah,
I'd rather
you're
tell you
just
the
looking out
truth.
for that person.
Yeah. What, you want me to lie? Well, you should have told me that from the get-go. I didn't know this before, but she directed Can You Ever Forgive Me in 2018 with Melissa McCarthy and A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood 2019 with Tom Hanks.
Oh, wow. I saw the one with Tom Hanks. I really liked it. I didn't know that was her.
Me neither.
That's so cool. Dang, she's had a good streak going with her movies. I never saw Can You Ever Forgive Me, but I heard it was really great.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but I have seen A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood because, I grew up watching
Yeah.
that, yeah, growing up. So I'm like, I have to see it. And I guess I don't pay attention enough to credits and I didn't see her
No,
name.
neither do I. And it's been so long that I had completely forgotten who did that. But I love that movie. I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, 2019 feels like it was yesterday and it's 2023 and I'm like, fuck, like I have to keep remembering like it's
Uh,
not, it didn't just happen last year. Like it's already been like 4 years.
yeah, a while.
Yeah, that's how fast time goes by.
I know.
She's also cast in Queen's Gambit 2020 in her first breakout role as Alma Whitley, the lead character's adoptive mother.
Oh, wow. I never saw Queen's Gambit. Don't hate me. I never saw it. I was like probably like the only person that hasn't seen it.
You do have to watch it.
Yeah. I don't know why I never
Yeah.
watched it. I guess just because like chess is confusing to me. I was like, I don't know if I'll enjoy it.
That's the reason why I watched it because I actually really like watching chess. Like if I knew how to play it more, for sure I would play it. But like I don't know how to really play it. I know how to play checkers, but not chess.
Yeah, like I don't know. But that's really cool. Because you said before that she liked to act. That's awesome that she was able to be in that show because it's like one of Netflix's best shows now at this point.
Yeah. And some shows from like Netflix I don't get into. I'm just like, okay, like it's trending. Some shows are like
Yeah.
trending top 10 and I start them, but I'm like, I'm not feeling it. This one I started it and I couldn't stop. I really liked
Oh
it.
wow. Okay. Then yeah, maybe I'll end up watching it someday
Hmm.
and see if the chess doesn't confuse me.
You add it to the list. Heller is known for telling stories that center around human beings trying to navigate through the world and trying to talk about something people are uncomfortable talking about, which makes sense why she
Yeah.
created the Diary of a Teenage Girl, because that's exactly what goes on in the movie.
Yeah.
She stated that after becoming a mother made her change the kinds of stories she tells and want, quote unquote, to do good in the world. Was included as one of the names embroidered on Natalie Portman's 2020 Oscar dress that highlighted the female directors who weren't represented at the Academy Awards.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, yeah, and I didn't read the names.
I total no, because they were kind of small. They were like around like her, I don't know what that's called. Like not her sleeves, but it had like a weird collar, I think. And the names were embroidered like all on the side, and they were really small. I totally forgot that she did that.
I
Huh.
know, me too. I have to look it up.
I'll look it up later. I'll see what it looks like. I totally forgot that that happened. It was a lifetime ago.
We'll have to add that to the list.
I know.
Just keep adding to our list, guys. Pop
I
it.
know. It's getting too long.
Some background on the film. It was filmed in San Francisco from January 10th to early February 2014. So it was cold, wasn't it?
Yeah, and what she was like, they weren't wearing like a lot of like big jackets or anything like that in that movie. They must have been freezing. That
Yeah.
sucks.
No, thank you. I'm the worst when it comes to cold weather.
Me too. I totally agree. I no, I can't. That's why I like living in LA. It's barely ever cold here.
That's why I want to move to LA, but trying one
Me too.
day.
I believe in you. And then we can hang out all the whole team.
The whole team can hang out. We can grab some drinks. It also won the Grand Prix of Generation 14 for Best Feature Length Film at the 2015 Berlin International Film Festival and Best Feature at the 2015 Independent Spirit Awards. It was
Dang.
produced by mostly a female team,
Very
which,
nice.
yes, I love that.
That's awesome.
Universally acclaimed for being boldly unconventional and refreshingly honest.
Yeah, I agree. Very honest.
Like we said, we definitely needed some
Hmm.
more honesty portrayed in
Yeah.
cinema. In an interview with Cosmopolitan, Heller said her goals for the film were one, to show young women that their sexuality does not come second to men and they are not just objects for desire. And two, to show that women are allowed to make bad decisions without being quote unquote prescriptive. The film received backlash for glorifying underage sex and illegal age differences. Heller argues that no one criticizes The Godfather 1971 for setting a bad example of behavior for men, but when a young girl explores her sexuality in a less than ideal way, it is quote unquote promoting underage sex.
She's right for saying that because it's not promoting it. It's obviously that's not the point of the story. It's the point of the story is her realizing that she doesn't need to be in a relationship like that and condemns it towards the end. Like they completely misunderstood the point of the movie.
They obviously didn't watch the whole film.
Yeah.
And also to represent that teenage girls have sexual thoughts and feelings just as much as teen boys in a realistic and honest way, which is exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, totally.
The film utilizes sequences of animation that are meant to act the same way as a song into a musical, to represent the protagonist's feelings and thoughts when everything is too big to say in words, which makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. I like the way that's phrased because it totally makes sense.
Let's get into some film production because I definitely love the wardrobe. I'm so into like the 1970s, just like scenic, like the scenic vibe of the 70s is so vintage and I love it.
I know. I've always liked clothes from back then, but I feel like it's always like really long pants and I'm very short. And I'm like, when will they make 70s bell bottoms that fit short people well? That's like
Well,
always
what's
like
your
my main
height?
thought. I'm literally 5 feet tall. Like I'm so small.
Oh my God, you're shorter than me.
Yeah, I'm really tiny. And I always get mad when I see like cute clothes like that, like in this movie, because I'm like, I'm too short. I need to get that tailored. Like,
I know, but then who has time to go get it tailored?
I know. And it's a lot of money to do that. Like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I remember someone that I used to work with suggested, he was like, you should tailor your clothes because it fits better on you. And I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna do it. Like, never
Yeah, no.
happened. Like, it's just too much effort. I've been trying to, I bought this skirt that doesn't fit me and it's like really big on me. And I wanted to go get it, fixed up so I can eventually wear it. It's been like 2 summers and I have yet to take it to go get fixed or anything. It's just like, is it even gonna happen at this point?
Yeah, it's just something that always gets pushed to the back burner. And it's like, who has the time and the energy? No, not me. Just make the clothes for short people and then we're good.
Yeah, make better clothes. So we were talking about production, right? We were talking about production design. The film takes place, of course, in the 1970s, so all the set pieces and costumes match the specific era. Costume designer Carmen Grande, also known for The House of Tomorrow, 2017. The cinematographer was Brandon Trost, also known for American Pickle, 2020, and The Disaster Artist, 2017. Features a muted 70s color palette, intercut with vibrant animated cartoon overlays that interact with both the story but the characters as well. Despite being a 70s period piece, the music spans multiple decades and stands to represent the varied and sometimes eclectic experience of coming of age. And the film editor is Marie-Helen Dorzo, also known for 2 Days, 2 Nights, 2014, and Cohen Timmerman, also known for the For Into the Night, 2020 to 2021. Belle Polly plays Minnie, who is the 15-year-old aspiring cartoonist and newly sexually awakened young female. Represents young female sexuality in a way that has very influently been seen on screen. She actually won Best Female Lead at the 2015 Independent Spirit Awards for her role.
Oh, good for her. She did really great. And I didn't know she was British until later. I thought she was American.
Yeah, me neither. And then I saw an interview with her and she has an accent and I'm like, mind blown.
And I was like, I was convinced she was American because I was like, I've seen her somewhere before. This always happens to me when I watch a movie. My friends get annoyed when I'm like, I know that person. And they're like, be quiet, like watch the movie. But like the whole time I was like, I know her from somewhere. And after I started digging, I realized that she's on the morning show in the first season.
Oh, you watched that on Apple
Yeah.
TV?
Yeah, I watch it with my mom because my mom really likes Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. So we watch it together. And I was like, I've seen that face before. Yeah, she's one of the side characters. And you know what's interesting? Her character on that show gets into an inappropriate relationship with a coworker who is also older than her. So that's interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised that she dates older men at this point.
I mean, good for her. You know, she's of age. I don't blame her. But I found it very a huge coincidence that this movie is about that, and then her character on the morning show, like her whole plot is about that too.
Wow, that's funny how that interacts.
I know.
I've been wanting to watch it, but I refuse to pay for another subscription. I have so many streaming services because everyone wants to do streaming now. And so
I know.
there's good shows on like every platform. And that's what's so hard because it's like, how do you choose?
Yeah,
Like I
it's so
have so
annoying.
many options that like I'll get on a platform, like I'll get on Netflix. I'm like, okay, there's nothing on Netflix, Hulu. Nothing on Hulu, Amazon. Nothing on Amazon, Paramount Plus. Nothing on Paramount Plus. All right, like I have too
Yeah,
many.
I
Like I
know.
shouldn't say that many.
I know, it's so annoying. And like the only reason I have like multiple accounts on at this point, it's because it's like I share accounts with people. I have like my mom will want to pay for something specific and I'm like, "Yay, thank you for doing that." Like it's just this specific instance, my mom was like, "I want to watch this. I like Jennifer Aniston. I want to watch it." So she like paid for it and like we watched it. If you ever get around to like somehow being able to watch it, I recommend it. It's not like the best show on earth, but I think it's really interesting and it's very like scandalous. I was just like, okay. And the characters, it's a very character driven show. So it's you get really good performances out of all the actors. And what's her name? Belle Powley, she does great. She does really good in the smaller role that she has.
Didn't it win awards? Like, didn't it get nominated for something?
I think that got Jennifer Aniston like her first like big acting award that wasn't like for Friends. Like that was like her big win.
Interesting. I have to
I
look
for
into it. But yeah.
I don't know if it was a SAG award or an Emmy, but she won one of those.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't kept up with it, so I don't even like look into it all like that. But I love them. So I definitely need to watch it. The guy who plays Monroe, Alexander Skarsgård, he plays Monroe Rutherford, Charlotte's boyfriend and the object on Minnie's sexual desires. He received backlash for portraying an older man in a sexual relationship with an underage girl.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising to me.
I was just talking about it with Angela. We were talking about how people just become so committed to these characters, but not realizing that it's like a real person. Like they're not their
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, they're acting. It's not real. That's so weird. Oh my God. No, I've
People
never,
are weird.
especially like it's a, you know, like maybe you'd think that because people are conditioned to blame the woman in every situation for most part, you'd think they'd blame Belle Powley for doing this, but they're blaming the guy, which is a new twist. 'Cause they never, they just, they always let it slide. And the fact that it's just him playing a role in a movie and not him actually doing it is a lot. That's really surprising.
Yeah, but people just make it seem like, oh no, he's actually doing it. Like it's real. Like people get committed to the story. Like I get
Oh
committed to
no.
stories. Like for sure. I totally feel that. But there's levels to commitment.
Yeah, this seems like a reach in every sense. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I get why like some people receive backlash for portraying a certain character or acting in a certain way, but this is like completely removed from all of that. It's very uh shocking to me. But, you know, I guess it's like the new normal now.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by anyone's reactions at this point.
Yeah.
They're just, I just expect the unexpected.
Yeah, that's a better way to look at all this stuff, honestly. I'm
Yeah.
genuinely so surprised by that. Oh my God.
Mhm. Some themes of this film are female sexual awakening and exploring sexuality, understanding betrayal both as betrayer and the betrayed, and learning that validation is best when it comes from the inside rather than from a person or external source. Is there any themes that you got from this film?
I think the one you said last was the one I felt the most, that, it's about self-discovery mainly, and how you're just trying to figure yourself out at 15 years old. You're you're discovering like new people, new relationships, and everything in between. And you're coming to terms with how you look, who you are. And it's a very honest portrayal of that. And I don't know how else to say it. Like, it's about self-discovery and accepting who you are, and kind of trying to ignore what other people are trying to put on you at that age, because it's just a bunch of different people telling you what to do and how to think and how to feel. And sometimes like that advice is like helpful and valid, but sometimes it's putting you in a box. And Minnie was put in a box, and she was trying to break out of it. And at the end of it, even though she went through like horrible stuff, she was able to come out and realize that it's not about being loved by someone else. She has to become comfortable with loving herself on her own. I think that was like the most powerful like theme and message from it, because I think that was like one of the last things she said in the movie, like in the narration, and I was like, dang, that hit really hard. That was really good. She hit the nail on the head right at the end.
I think that is like the most, or like, I think that is the best advice that I could give someone her age, is that you have to learn how to love yourself. Like, you should not seek validation from anyone else but yourself, and that you come first. So that means your happiness comes first. And that's like, people might think about that as like selfish, but like sometimes you have to be selfish to make yourself happy, because ultimately, like, you continually making other people happy isn't going to solve the issue that you're not happy. So
Yeah.
how can you continue to make people happy if you're yourself are not happy?
Yeah. And if people are blaming you for being selfish, for trying to make yourself feel happy with yourself in your life, then they should not be in your life. Because the people who actually care about you will be totally understanding and accepting of that, of whatever changes you need to make in your life. And uh, I feel like, I don't know how you felt about her mother, because I was like, she's a little like out there, especially when she found out. But I feel like towards the end, she was kind of accepting of that, but kind of on her way to, because I was very shocked by the scene where she's like crying and like apologizing and to her mom about everything, and she's just like, I don't want to talk about it ever. And I'm like, that makes sense that she doesn't want to talk about it. Like, I get it, like to some degree, but also it's like, I feel like she almost didn't fully recognize that her child was a victim in this situation. But I feel like she, in the end of the day, like she still formed a closer relationship with her mom, and allowed her daughter to kind of just like move on from it and grow and learn. But there was still a little bit of friction there. I don't know. I don't know if you thought the same thing.
No, I completely agree. I felt the same way. Like, I would have liked, like, if I was in her shoes, I would have liked to have that conversation, like, it
Yeah.
was something that is just avoided. And I think that might cause issues. Like, that type of relationship might cause issues in the future. But like, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, but
Yeah.
just like speaking on experience, like, I believe that not being able to talk about those issues or those situations, especially with your mom, leads to just, because it's just your mom just decides that they don't want to talk to you about it because they can't handle that
Yeah.
confrontation. It just makes you become that reserved person. Like, okay, if
Yeah.
my mom can't do confrontation, have these types of conversations, then why should I, But not saying that everyone reacts like that. Some people might, overcome those challenges and might be able to still communicate. But I'm just saying, like, that could be a possibility.
Yeah, like it would lead to maybe a lot of resentment on either side. And like you can kind of see, I feel like you can kind of understand why she wouldn't want to talk about it with her kid, but because it's just such a horrible situation to be in from both sides of like from the daughter's side and the mother's side. Like it's just bad all around. But I feel like having that conversation, she'd be able to form a more uh deep bond with her daughter. And I feel like she, again, like I said before, like I feel like she did. And like it's like you can allow that person to be in your life because she was still somewhat accepting of how her daughter is and who she's becoming. Um, but I feel like if you had that conversation, it would have been even of a more like solidifying bond. But I'm like happy with how it ended anyway because I feel like it's more realistic that way. Because like I don't know a lot of parents that are willing to have that kind of conversation with their child like that because it's such a hard thing to talk about.
Yeah, I don't either. So I can't speak on that behalf, but I'm glad that they were able to end on good terms. Like they still had their mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I love coming of age teen movies. They're my comfort. They're my favorite thing. So I was really happy to be able to see something new in the same realm of what I enjoy watching. And it's still like it's not like a repetitive thing because like you see these types of movies all the time and they can get maybe repetitive, but I feel like the beauty of these types of movies is that like you can tell the same story in a different way because every single teenager and experience that they go through is different and valid and relatable on very like on thematic levels and stuff like that. So this is just like another one of those movies where they took it a different route, but I was, it's still relatable, it's still enjoyable and a very compelling story. So I guess that's my last thought.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really enjoyed our talk about the diary of a teenage girl. I really enjoyed the film too, and I'm happy that I decided to put it on the list for us to talk about and that you were so open to watching a film. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. I had so much fun.
Yeah, well, you're welcome back anytime. Well, thank you guys for listening. This has been Film Spill, a movie night podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. All are at Film Spill Pod. Tell a friend about the podcast if you like, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That will help other people find Film Spill too. Special thanks to Onyx Films for promoting us. You can check out Onyx's other projects at onyx-films.com.
Until next time, don't cry over a spilled film. Film, 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 film.